and I'll edit out all the like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm keeping that. That's staying in.
Okay then. So my name is Fumi Lade Adeni Taiwo. I'm 25. I am Nigerian, but I live in Canada. Grew up in Nigeria, moved to Canada with my family. Changed my identity a little bit. So my identity is kind of mixed and sometimes a little bit confusing figuring out what I am.
Same.
But either way, I think that is a strength in that it plays a lot into the way I think about mental health, the way I think about whose voices should be included, the way I think about how these voices should be included, and the necessity of that. I know personally, my mental health journey was impacted by online help. I didn't get a lot of in-person help. I was figuring out my stuff online and then supporting others online as well. And so I got into doing that in Nigeria, got into doing that in Canada as well, and seeing how that opens avenues for youth to speak anonymously and freely and share experiences that have been burning in their throats for so long. I think, opening up that going forward is like, this is a game changer. We have challenges of access to care, but this is a possible game changer. Let's try and work on that. So that's where I'm at right now.
From your perspective, what is mental health? Why is it important?
I think mental health, in a different context from mental illness, is a way or your capability to respond to situations, whether good or bad. How it is you respond in a situation, how it is you're able to cope with life, with the challenges, with the goods, the bads, the highs, the lows. However it is you exist in all those situations, for me, is how you define mental health.
Wow, so kind of like the mantra of, it's not what happens to you, it's how you deal with it.
Exactly. So yeah, everyone has mental health, man. Some days you have good mental health, some days you have poor mental health. It's part of life. It's how you deal with that, that then defines that term again.
And as you said, we all have it. So it's not like they have it or someone else has it. We all have mental health, and how we prepare ourselves for those challenges, and whether if we're happy, that's happy mental. That's good mental health, right? And when we experience those feelings of loneliness and despair and sadness and feelings of anxiety or feelings of depression, those are regular
signs,
human emotions.
But they're signs that maybe you need to check on yourself a little bit. Maybe your mental health isn't so good right now. But yeah.
So if it's not so good right now, what's something that I should do, and how can I be proactive to make sure that when I do experience those feelings, that I can come out of that I can recover from that?
For me, a huge part of my recovery and getting through stuff is self-awareness.
Wow.
I think I have to be able to understand what works for me, what's happening. And it's not an easy thing to do. It's taking time. It's still taking time. Because you have some new things come up all the time and you're like, oh, wow, that's there. So now I have to deal with that too. But I know once you're active in that self-awareness piece, you start to realize what works for you, because someone can tell you this works for them and you can try it 10 times out of 10 and it does nothing for you.
Right.
But understanding what makes you feel good, what helps improve your mental well-being at any point in time. For me, I love cooking. I love cooking for other people. That boosts my spirit. So that's what works for me. A lot of people, that might not work for them, but I found my thing. So
yeah, and so even if something doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean that you're a failure.
Exactly.
And that it doesn't mean you won't get better.
Exactly.
It just means that you need to keep trying, and that you need to keep exploring ways, and like you said, continue to be self-aware, analyze, reflect, improve, repeat.
Yeah.
Reflect, improve, repeat.
And I think a very integral piece of that, about seeing what works and maybe trying and it not working, is having people to support you with that process.
Wow.
Because it's easy to get stuck when something doesn't work, and at that point in time you're your worst critic. No one else is going to see you as badly as you see yourself then. So having someone else to say, you know what, it's alright. It's shitty, but it's alright. You're not a shitty person, okay?
Right.
Like, you tried it didn't work. Try something else. So that's that community support as well. Isolation is a huge facilitator of poor mental health.
Wow.
I mean, it's hard sometimes. You may not have the best friends, you may not have the best family around you, but whatever your community is, chosen family, blood family, I think it's great that we find a way to keep that
and I think what's incredible about what you do as an expert in peer support online is for people who have challenges finding that support.
Yes.
They can go online and they can find support in someone who has had experience and who can help them through that process.
Correct.
And I think that's something so profound about you as a person and about helping people recover and to heal and to know that they're not alone.
Yes.
And that's why we love you, Fumi. You just got such a good heart.
Thank you, G. Thank you, G. At the lowest points, I've thought that whatever it is that's happening right now is for my good. You know, ultimately, something good will come out of this. And again, it's not the easiest thing to hold on to at that point in time. I doubt it all the time, but I know that ultimately I will make it out. There's something else. This is much bigger than me. It's not just focused on making me feel shitty today.
Yeah.
This is much bigger than me. So I try to find meaning in that. Again, it's tough, but you know, pushing through with the support of the people around me, and, you know, just
And knowing that mental health challenge is a lesson
Yep.
and not a life sentence.
It's not a life sentence, man.
So when you have that breakup, or you have that teacher who's particularly hard on you, or you have that family environment that doesn't support
Exactly.
who you are,
Yeah.
this is a lesson, and it's a challenge that you would need to learn to overcome.
Correct.
And you can do that through support, and you
Correct.
can do that through self-awareness, and you can do that by having hope for the future.
Correct.
And being proactive with your recovery process.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of that, that's where purpose lies. That's where strength lies. That's where
strength lies.
improvement and mental wellness lies. And that's the point that we all want all young people to get.
Exactly.
Is to be proactive in their own mental wellness and stuff. And that's why, you know, you're here, and that's why all the young people are here, like myself, who have had those experiences and stuff. So it's been an incredible past couple days. And honestly, man, like, I'm so honored to have met you, and like, it's so it's just incredible, man. So, man, I appreciate you taking the time, bro.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank you,
you know
Giovanni. Thank you, Giovanni. Okay.
Fumi, man. Well, first of all, man, like, it's been you already know, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like from the time that I saw you and stuff like that, man, I was like, I gotta go talk to this guy. And then as soon as we did, we instantly clicked and stuff, man.
Yeah.
And we have different stories and different backgrounds, but in a lot of the same way, it's so much the same.
Similarities, yeah. And I think like I appreciated that so much. So I have a lot to say to thank you off camera, but
Yeah, please don't.
but no.
I'm uncomfortable with gratitude.
It's been a hell of a week, man. I think I learned a lot about myself from you.
Vice versa, for
You
sure.
know, just being able to be grounded in tough situations, being able to have conversations I didn't know I needed to have, just by meeting you. And I think that speaks to the reason as to why we're here in the first place, like as to why they needed youth at the table. It's not just because we needed one young person with lived experience or lived expertise, whatever it is you want to call it. I think it's because we all had something that we needed to share. And it meant that we had to come in, you know, free of egos, just knowing that we were here to learn. And I think anyone in the youth match can speak to that as well. So, you know, talking about your experiences, and you representing the U.S., talking about the Netherlands as well, just your wealth of experience. And I think everyone saw that. You know, I don't think anyone's ever gonna forget Giovanni. You know, wherever we go, we're gonna remember this dude we met in Stockholm, who shared his wealth of expertise, who let us think about the way our expertise was needed at this conference. So yeah, thank you, man.